I'll start by reintroducing myself again. My name's Maxwell Lugalia. And my journey in this customer service started some 20 years ago or thereabout, when I was a workshop manager at Kenya Aerotech at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Now, those days, what used to happen is most of us were being technical staff. We were not so concerned about what customers' needs or requirements were, because our main job was to ensure that we repair the machinery well, so that it serves them well. But then we had a managing director, the late now, he's called Mr. Zach, who decided that for us to perform better, then the technical staff would have to be involved in the monthly meetings where our clients would come and express their concerns and advise us on how to improve our jobs. So I started attending meetings in which they were, most of them were actually airline representatives, because the job entailed maintaining aviation ground handling machines. These are machines that you see at the airport that carry goods, that provide services such as electrical power to the planes when they're on the ground, starting the planes, cleaning the planes, providing water, doing toilet service, and even just the normal pottery of moving goods. Now, our interaction with the customers, who are mainly airline representatives, made us realize certain things. If I can give just one specific example, we used to have issues of weight, where we as a technical people know how much weight we can carry with our machines, but then the customer is not aware of the capability of some of the machines we have. So the customer could say, import a earth moving machine, which is, most of them are more than 7.5 tons. And yet our machine has the capability of just loading or bringing to ground cargo worth about 7 tons. So when we got to learn of that, what the first thing we did was ensure you record, we recorded all our capacities or weight capabilities on our machines so that everybody could see, even from afar. And we also trained our drivers to be able to understand in what ways they could load or unload very heavy equipment or machinery. And during that time, I started reading about customer service, about marketing. And at one point, I remember, I don't remember the book, but it was one of those tiny, tiny books. And it said that for you to perform effectively, ensure that your workers are as comfortable as they can possibly be. And we used to have what we call passenger handlers. If you've gone to the airport and you've seen majority are ladies who check your passports and check the other documentation that you need to be able to travel. Those days we used to have stools. And you see now, if you sit on a stool that has no backrest for a couple of hours, you start developing either fatigue or you're not comfortable. It's not so good. So I went to our managing director and asked him, can we make chairs that have some level of backrest? Even if all the other airlines don't have, it doesn't have to be very long, but it can be just something that can provide at least rest for the back, because quite a number of people were also complaining about having to sit at those places for maybe 4 hours, 5 hours, and it starts having an impact on your back. So I was led to make those chairs. We just made them locally in the workshop. And the passenger handling staff were very excited about it. So that's one of the things I can remember that I am really proud of myself that I contributed somehow to some level of customer care. I don't know if I mentioned that I've also worked at an Israeli company. That is immediately after I left Jomo Kenyatta Airport. I worked for an Israeli company where I was the technical sales engineer. And here, my main job was, because I was a technical person, and most of the clients who are buying were technical people, it was to relate what the technical people wanted and the products we were offering. At that time, engineering development was mainly offering hydraulic related stuff like pipes, seals, electronic weighing machines, temperature, infrared temperature gadgets, hydraulic pumps, and all manner of small measuring gadgets. So, sorry, I finished with engineering development. And in engineering development, I can really say it was a place I really began to understand and like sales. Because as much as I was also a technical person, but I could be sent to sugar company and I go talk to the main engineer there. And we talk about pressures, we talk about the pipes that are required, basically customer requirements. There is where I came to learn that if you're producing anything and you're not really in tune or focusing on what the customer needs or what the customer wants, chances are that you're wasting quite a bit of energy. After engineering development, I became I worked for a garage, which was called To Spec Auto Care, where I was a business development manager. And here now it meant really going to look for the business. As much as I was working to ensure that things are running properly and smoothly, so that we're repairing the vehicles in good time, repairing them according to the manufacturer's recommendation, leaving them clean, calling people once in a while. I came to understand that there are different levels of customers, even for any one product. And they have, nowadays I realize it's called a niche. You have different niches of requirements. Say, for example, even now, there are people whose vehicles, when they need to repair a vehicle, they expect somebody to come and pick it up, go do whatever needs to be done, return it in good time, and return it clean with a service tag and everything done right and invoiced in advance and the car dropped properly. But then also there are other level of customers who will go to a repair facility. They will want the job done as quickly as possible, but they do not want anybody to drive their car or anybody touching places that are not supposed to be touched. So this brings me to what we call, or my next part of this talk, which is actually focused on the modern day customer. So the question is, who is this modern day customer? Because a customer, as we know, is any person who uses your product or service. Customers could be internal within the organization or external, like these customers who come and pay and take whatever needs to be taken and pay. Now, internal customers are normally overlooked.
Maxwell, sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you will. You would like me to tell you that the video cuts your head from up.
Oh,
So you
sorry,
can
sorry.
adjust a bit like that. Thank you.
Like that.
Yeah, just that is good.
Thanks, Otieno.
Can even return it a little bit so that it
Yeah, will that be
great.
okay?
Ah, ah,
All right.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying internal customers are normally overlooked in many organizations, and yet they are very crucial to the final product. If I can give you an example, you'll forgive me, most of my examples will come from motoring related or machinery related, but I'm sure it encompasses even other sectors. So in the auto business, we have panel beaters and we have spray painters. Of course, nowadays, there are a few individuals who can do both spray painting and they can do panel beating. Now, when you have a panel beater who's done, maybe he's repaired your vehicle, and the next step is the car to be moved to the painter so the painter can finish the job. If the panel beater does not do his or her job properly, and the painter is under pressure to finish, you can be sure the final product will not make sense. Why? Because of the coordination between the internal customer. Similarly, many people buy chips from different places, and there are places where you can go buy chips and you find literally all those potatoes are more or less the same size, cooked equally. The peeling has been done, there are no eyes being left. Again, the person peeling the potatoes and the person cooking the potatoes in some organization are two different people. Like we've seen some of the franchises where they have the supply of potatoes. He brings the potatoes and they're already peeled. If this person or the machine peeling the potatoes does not do their job right, we can't actually fully blame the person or the cooking of the potatoes. So you can see there's a relationship internally within the organization that affects the final consumer. That is now, I'm just trying to bring out the importance of internal customers. It can happen even in audit or accounting, where invoices are delayed, checks are not done in good time, or they are hidden, and eventually there's a cash crunch, and the problems start arising from there. If I go back to, I need to define what customer care is. But before I do that, I'll go to the modern day customer, because today the focus is actually on the modern day customer. Modern day customer is well educated. He uses the internet most of the time. They're exposed. They're always in touch with things happening in their circles and out of their circles. Many of them are not patient. When they need their service, they need it. When they need their product, they need it now. They also listen to influencers. Some of them make decisions just based on what the influencer says. They deal with products that are environmentally friendly, because nowadays there could be a difference. If you're producing a product that is not environmentally friendly, and I'm producing a product that is environmentally friendly, chances are I might beat you in the game. And then also, this modern day customer is likely to recommend a good brand to friends, to groups. And also, on the same token, if the service or product that has been offered is not of the correct standard or quality, then the modern day customer will complain in a group, meaning they touch more people than you expect. Now, why is this important to the customer care person? It means that your name could either be made or broken within a very, very short time. I said I was going to define what customer service is and then proceed. I have 3 definitions, but the one I found best is customer service is anticipating and satisfying the needs of clients or potential clients in a constant and dependable manner. That's one I found most consistent. I mean, most comfortable. I'll repeat it later. There are others, like a customer service is the support you offer your customers, both before and after they buy your product or service, that helps them have an easy and enjoyable experience with you. Also a good one. And then finally, customer service or customer care is the assistance and advice provided by a company or person to the people who buy or use the product or service. So when I look at those 3, the one I think I find most comfortable is the one for anticipating and satisfying the needs of clients or potential clients in a constant and dependable manner. Now, why is customer care important? Customer care is the key to loyalty, to customer retention, to business growth, and to profits. And all of us are in business or are entrepreneurs because of that. Because it is the key to loyalty, customer retention, business growth, and profits. We all want that. When you have the same product and say like we have in supermarkets, have the same product, have the same price, chances are that we will go for the product or the area that has the best customer service. Where the product and service is of the same price, the same quality, we will go for those small things, the smiles, the greeting, the being taken to be important, which are really what I can call in technical language soft skills. And those, without those, you cannot succeed in the modern day business. Now, if you're in business and you want to compete well with the rest of the people, because nowadays everybody is studying, everybody is on the internet, everybody knows what they need to have an edge over the rest, especially for the customer care area, there are certain characteristics, even when you're employing a person and you need this person to have those skills, there are certain characteristics that those people need to have. One of them is problem-solving skills. The other one is clear communication. The person needs to be a clear communicator. So even you need to be a clear communicator. You need to have a friendly attitude. You need to be empathetic. You need to be able to wear the shoes of your customer or imagine how the customer feels. And then you need to have business acumen, which is understand the profits, losses, working capitals, and all those nitty-gritties. And then you need to understand the product that you're offering and also the service that you're offering well. And then another thing that is important is time management. You need to have strong time management skills. And then you should be able to go the extra mile in whatever you're doing. You should not limit yourself in whatever you're doing by saying maybe I can only produce so much per day, or I can only serve such number of clients per day. You should be able to go the extra mile. Sorry for that. Now, there's certain things that are barriers in our customer care area, and some organizations overlook them. And if I can just mention a few. The first one is organizational policies. There are organizations that have policies that are not so positive to the end consumer. Maybe they were drafted by a person who was more product oriented than customer oriented, or service oriented than customer oriented. The customer service actually requires commitment of the entire organization, not only those people who are the point of sale or those who are dealing with our clients direct. They require commitment of the entire organization, starting from the CEO all the way to the tea girl, to the watchman, and everybody who is involved in that facility. Another thing would be insufficient resources. You find some organization, the people handling the sales have not been empowered. They don't get per diem. They don't get a good place to sleep. They have problems in transport. They don't get enough airtime. And so they are struggling with other things that are not directly related to the service that they offer. And then another one would be bureaucracy, where things really don't move as fast. They are very slow. The customer requires this, it has to go through maybe chief engineer, or it has to go through another person who's not there. And then by the time the information gets back, or by the time something is done for the client, it is too late. So the client has wasted time and in the process, money. Another one would be inadequate facilities or equipment. There are businesses that will suffer because of not having the right tools or not having the right items to be able to serve the clients well. And then there is another one also, which is a poor attitude coming from the from employees or even from the owner of the business, where you take things for granted or you don't really like what you do. That brings about a poor attitude that will seriously affect customer service. And the final one would probably be inadequate training. You find that people who are supposed to serve the client or customers don't have a sufficient training in that area in which they're supposed to work. We see it in certain petrol stations, in different shops, different markets, where the person, it's like you're a bother. You're a client, yes, but they're not enthusiastic. They pretend to be doing other things. They're on phone, they're on TikTok, and things like that. So that being a poor attitude cannot produce a good customer experience or customer experience. Now, you as the entrepreneur or the owner of the business or an employee working in that field, what do you need to do to be able to serve the modern day customer well? In my opinion, the first thing you need to do is conduct something like a SWOT analysis on yourself. You can have 2 papers, on one paper, you can write your strengths. And then on another paper, you can write your weaknesses, or let me call them areas that need development. So since you know what your job requires, you can tick and say, maybe you know your strength, maybe your strengths are in IT, you have good connections, you're an eloquent person, you learn things quickly. And then maybe on the other side, you've written your weaknesses. Many people hide their weaknesses. Most people don't really like to address weaknesses. But your weakness could also be you're not tech savvy, so you don't understand many of the jargons of today, or you're in an industry that you don't have the technical skills required to run things as well as you would, or your education level is not as high as what is expected of that particular position. Now, all those weaknesses, you write them down and you start working on them. Give yourself a plan so that you can also grow. That is normally what I can call even the harder part, because most of us would like things to change on others, but don't really want to change ourselves. So if you want things to be good, to be running smoothly, to have the best customers or customer experiences, you yourself have got to put your characteristics or change yourself to be the person that can do whatever you expect. So you can give yourself timelines to learn certain skills that are necessary for you to run the place well. And then another thing that I just need to mention is, as a customer person or an entrepreneur or business or even employee handling customers, there's one very common thing that will always happen. There are things when things will just go bad, things will run badly, or things will happen not in the way that you would want. And when that happens, say you're about to lose a big tender, you're about to lose a big client, there's one method. Of course, nowadays there are many others, but the one that I really believe in, we call it LEAST, L-E-A-S-T. Now, in the LEAST method is where the L stands for listen. So you listen to what the complainant is saying. But you don't just listen, you listen empathetically, with feelings, with concern, with the desire to assist. That is empathize with the person. And then LEA, the A is for apologize. Apologize to the client for the client being in that state. The fourth, which is S, is solve the problem, or get somebody to solve that problem. And then finally, the T is thank the client for having come back for you to address that situation. So that one I call it LEAST, which is one of the favorite methods for any marketer or customer care representative. And then again, if you're in this industry or if you're running any business, there are times when you'll undergo serious stress. Stress because you have deadlines, you need to meet financial budgets, you need to do certain things within particular time, you don't have enough resources to cover everything you need, the skill of the people you have is not what is expected, and all those things put together, family life, kids, environment, will generate stress. Now, you as the person in this area, how will you manage this stress? The first area is have enough rest. The scientists tell us ensure that you have at least 8 hours of sleep. I've read places where they say even if your body is used to 6 hours of sleep, you need to at least one day in a week push your hours to at least minimum 8 for your body to recuperate. And then drink enough water. You're advised to drink enough water. Exercise. Try to eat a balanced diet. Don't just eat anything to get full, but eat a balanced diet. Try relaxation techniques. One funny one I had was you can close your eyes and walk on the beach, and the waves are going through your hair and all that. Which is it's something that can be done within a very short time span, but it does wonders for your health. And then you also have to learn to be resilient, because for you to achieve any big things, you also need to be, we call it being hard. You have to be resilient. And then you have to also be grateful for the things that you have. Because if you're not grateful for what you already have, don't expect much more. And then finally, I would like to mention or talk about things that you can do as the customer care person or customer or manager to improve your job in this particular area. Now, one of them is understand your customers. Know their needs. Know their behaviors. Know what pains them. What do they like to see? Are you giving them everything that you can give them? Or are you just doing what is bare minimum? Create a customer-centered culture in your organization or with your people. Let them know the importance of customers, because if the customers are not there, then within a short time, even you'll not be there. Always put yourself in the customer's shoes. What are they feeling? Are they comfortable with this? Can I make it better? Ask for feedback. Of course, you can't go asking for feedback from all customers, but also as you ask for feedback from a few customers, maybe that you have rapport with, the people who are handling these customers, the people maybe under you, are they comfortable offering this service? Do they have ideas that they are scared of sharing with you because of your nature? Is there something you can get from those who are in contact with those clients that you can't get because of the way they treat you, maybe as a boss, maybe as they're not just friendly to you? Or can you get that information through somebody else or a client best? When you get feedback from a customer, how fast do you act on it? Do you take days? Do you do it instantly? Do you give your support team everything or the resources that they need? Do they have airtime even to call the clients? Can they go meet the clients? Do you observe your people when they work? Or do you just carry out your job as a clerical job? Because if you never observe, things can happen and you'll be very shocked If I said I'll be giving examples from the motoring area, say if you're repairing a vehicle or you repair vehicles and you have different mechanics with different capabilities. With time, you come to learn this person likes this, or this person is an expert with this. This person prefers this. This person will take a shortcut here if there's nobody seeing. Once you learn those things or those characters of the people that you have, you will be in a better position to do better work. Do you make it easy for customers to get in touch? Does your phone ring and then you don't check whether it's a customer, or you assume it's somebody else who's just disturbing you? Do you check your emails or SMSs? Sorry for that. An important area is active listening, actively listening to the clients. I mentioned observing employees as they work. You have to take time to observe. Of course, you can't sit there the entire day just observing, but you have to make it part of your job to observe how your people work and see which areas you can improve on. You can decide to do it weekly, or you can decide that each employee I'll put in, maybe I'll see how they treat 2 or 3 clients. I'll look at the attitude. Is their dressing okay? Is everything well, such that we can be respected as a company or as a business? And we get more business from our behavior, the way it is at the moment. You can also try loyalty programs, maybe giving discounts to those who give you sufficient business. You can personalize the service. Say if you're in a coffee shop and your client maybe likes 3 spoons of sugar and they are a regular client, they shouldn't be telling you. You should let the customer know that you understand them and you even know what they are likely to order. I'll end this talk just in a few minutes, but we have to be honest about the problems we have in either our organizations or the places we work. We need to conduct regular researches to ensure that all challenges are addressed in good time. And then we need to be able to explain to our clients what we are doing. We should not just be waking up in the dark and come and surprise the people who work for you or who work under you. This being a customer care week, I've also decided to do something, and I would urge my listeners here also to do something. Either recognize your good employees, recognize your clients, reward them if you can, or if you can, just send a message, send an SMS, send an email to show that they are important. Thank you very much for having me give this talk. To Mr. Otieno.
Great. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. Yes, Noel, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I think so far I have only seen one question. How would you recommend dealing with customers who consistently delay payment without providing reasons? And when should you consider taking some drastic actions or even ending the business relationship?
That is a challenge faced by, I can say, majority of the businesses, especially in this country, where the client brings the job with a lot of enthusiasm. You finish the job very well in good time. But when it comes to chasing the payment, it becomes a very big problem. It is something I've discussed with many of my friends, and many are facing the same situation. But to me, because sometimes a business could have financial challenges, maybe that's why they're not paying you in good time. But when you discover it's a common cycle, it's a common cycle. You've done business for 1 year, they always pay very late, or you really struggle to get payment. I think then it is time to move on, look for other businesses, and of course, don't move in a bad way. Don't go and say, I will no longer serve you, but ask for a deposit. Say maybe your policies have changed. Now we are accepting 50% deposit or 70% deposit before the work is done. That way, then it is them, you're actually moving the challenge from your end to their side. So they give you the deposit, and then you work with the deposit to minimize that payback time. I think that's how I look at it. Ask for a deposit.
Okay, thank you. And again, maybe I just feel there are some businesses that someone has to pay upfront before you offer them services. Maybe small scale businesses or what, you have to be paid upfront before you offer your services, because these streets are not good. And then Melvin is asking, is there training for keeping your staff smiling, always smiling like you do?
Smiling actually takes a lot of emotional energy, and for you to have that emotional energy, of course, it means your stress levels have to be minimized. Meaning that if you have frontline staff who you expect to be smiling all the time, you first of all have to encourage them, remind them it is their business. So maybe initially the smiles will be fake, acted smiles, but later on when they realize this is part of the job, they will naturalize, and smiles will be more genuine. But you have to make the conditions really appealing for the staff to be able to smile, because a hungry person, you can be sure, will not smile for very long. So try to improve the environment and their upkeep, and the smiles will be a bit easier to come.
Okay, another question. Is the customer always king? How can you disagree without losing them?
Wow. The customer, I think there are circumstances where the customer may not be king. Of course, in majority of the cases, people say that. But there are situations where you're sure the customer is not right. Maybe you're being blamed for something that is way out of what you did, something that maybe you have no control. And the customer says or puts the blame or wants you to shoulder things that are not supposed to be your responsibility. The way I would handle it is, because at the end of the day, you don't want to lose any client. You don't want to lose, even if it's a so-called bad client, you don't want to lose anybody who brings you money into the organization. You would need negotiating skills. Sometimes it might even require getting a third party, or if you look at every organization, there'll always be someone who has this, maybe sometimes not even trained, but they have what we call they have the ability to rectify things. They may not know the job very well, but they know how to. They have people skills. Damage control. The people who know damage control, they could even be doing it with an accent or whatever, but they know how to do it very well. So if you realize you have somebody like that in the organization, you can utilize that person when you have an issue where the customer believing they're king and they're trying to bully you into things that you don't accept. That's how I'd go about it. Utilize everybody in your organization.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So there's a comment, great info and very empathetically done despite it being an integral subject matter. Very true. I think when you say there are people in the organization who are like damage controllers, for me, I feel it's a gift that God has just given me. I'm such a damage controller, like, yeah. And then another example of what you've said and the customer not always being king is I am so much on natural hair, and I make my hair just in one salon in Nairobi.
Yeah.
So I don't stay in Nairobi, I stay in Diani, but I make sure that my hair appointments are when I go to Nairobi. And I've not yet found someone in Diani who can do that to me, who can make my hair. So, well, I love braiding my hair because it is a protective styling, and my hair is not exposed to mostly the salt in Diani in the coast. So I remember this day I went to the salon, and the owner of the salon is a great friend of mine, and she told me, Noel, now we're not going to do what you used to. Yes, you're the king here. Yes, this is what you want. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to advise you. You need, first of all, to do this to change the pH of your hair. You need to do this treatment. You need to do this. So you see, at the end of the day, I think also the customer can come from this place where they've not done their research well. Like, again, I had a friend of mine who had a juice parlor, and someone will just come and tell you whatever they think is a nice combination or what. But yet there are fruits that you can't mix with other fruits. There are things that you can't mix. You get me? So I don't believe the customer is always the king. So there's another question. How do you go about recruiting the perfect people for customers? Some are good in sales but have a bad customer approach, and vice versa. How do we strike the balance? And then Live Your Dream has answered partly, or has answered. There are two approaches: train accordingly to build their capacity. The other way of getting the right people is through referrals and headhunting.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Because you'll always find that an individual has one characteristic maybe that you need, but they are weak in other areas. And in this case, the same way we said that the business owner or entrepreneur or the person in charge needs to upgrade their game gradually. If you strike a balance, because there are organizations where one person makes the decision, I need to balance the tribes in this organization, so I have to take so and so, as much as they don't have this, so that I have a regional balance in this organization. So you've been forced to take someone who does not have a particular skill which is crucial to the organization. So in such circumstances, then you'll have to invest in the training of that person, because again, you don't want to go against the law. You have to train in the training of that person so that they catch up with what you expect. So possibly before you recruit that individual or before you do the recruitment, you'll have to know what it will cost you to train an individual to reach the level you would like. But I think the crucial thing also to check during the recruitment process would be, if you can, the attitude. Because attitude is crucial. It will determine what the person will produce, how the person will relate to clients later. Because attitude will also tell you that this person may come in as nice person, but within a short time, they are totally different. So I would look at attitude more than literally anything else.
Okay. Thank you. So which customer satisfaction matrix software do you recommend, and how do you personally use that data?
Here I would maybe request you people to help me answer that question before I answer it. You have? Hello?
Who is speaking?
I can't answer that, but maybe anyone who can
Anyone in the
answer
group?
that before Mr. Lugalia answers.
So there's Net Promoter Score. I think is a simpler tool that you can use, and many organizations use it, including very big corporates. There are just two questions you'll be asking the customer. Can you recommend us to your friends or your relatives? You know, there are two questions. I've forgotten the other one, but now based on those answers, then you'll be able to know who is a promoter, who is a detractor, and who is they're just staying there over the fence. You want many people to be your promoters, and so if you can get many promoters, then you are good to go. So the reason why many organizations like it is because it's very simple and it doesn't require the customer to do so much, you know. And then it is something that is global, so you can use it if you have offices in Nigeria, the US, Europe. You can still use it, and it will just cut across. Yeah, but I think it's something that you can also Google and get more information on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edna. Thank you. Edna knows a lot of things, my goodness. And then Dr. Melvin has said that there's also Rate My Service. Yeah, there's also Rate My Service. So on to you, Mr. Lugalia. Anything you want to add on that?
I would say in the area of customer care, or even generally in marketing, the people who do your best marketing are actually your clients. Your clients do a better job than the reps you have move around, and they actually do it for no charge. I've tried before where you get a client and you ask that client, by the way, can you recommend some more people like you to our organization? And you'll be shocked. This person, maybe you've been with the same person for a number of years, you've never asked, but then this person within a very short time sends you a whole group. And then you ask yourself, where was I? So my thinking on how to improve all sorts of businesses is actually through customer care, ideally, and through all the things that we mentioned today of ensuring the person serving the client, first of all, is okay, and the client is being served according to their needs and according to their wants in a timely manner all the time. So to me, that is the ABC of all the businesses that we are talking about. If anybody else has more.
Thank you so much. I think the conversation will have to go on our WhatsApp group because time. We can talk about this the whole day because we need people, customers, sawa. So I call upon our elder brother Odhiambo Olale to give a vote of thanks and close for us today's session. Oh my God. Odhiambo Olale.
Is he present?
He told me he has already joined, Okay, Iwodembo Olmale is not present. Our Lenana elder brother, Dr. Melvin Lima, kindly.
I'd like to say a big thank you to our speaker today, Maxwell Lugalia, for giving us such an enlightening talk on customer service, especially this being Customer Service Week. And we're extremely grateful to him for the tips he's given us, and he has given them with a smile. So we should all be smiling by the end of this session, and and as we go forth, let us keep the customer as the center of our focus. That's what I have to say. And in the background, I want to thank the organizers of this meeting and everybody who has come for sparing time to listen to a heavyweight in the area of customer service, and that's Maxwell. Back to you, OPP and Noel.